Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John Zindel. This is Dom Scarcella with me, and we are giving a live recap of WWE Smackdown. Dom, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hello, everyone. This is the third week we've been doing this. So this is the third week I've been back to WWE. This is also the first SmackDown after the pay-per-view, which happened Saturday, so 6 days ago. There's uh there's a lot going on in this show, some interesting angles. So let's get right to it and don't bury the lead. What's our big story here, John?
That is right, Dom. Do not bury the lead. Don't you dare bury the lead. Um, it is going to be tough to decide. But my gut instinct at the moment is the promo by Bray Wyatt
Okay.
that we just had here. I think was a bit more impactful than the main event, which was the four-way, which was okay. But
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the promo with Bray Wyatt. I've been seeing this a lot more recently in the AEW world,
Okay.
where they kind of have promos that feel like a person just talking rather than a 10-minute, monologue that they memorize and they go from line to line. He was just seemed like a guy kind of out there being himself rather than the character he always portrays, and that was pretty believable. So for me, I like the promo by him. It is a very bizarre thing. He's constantly done for the last like 2 or 3 years now. It's getting like weirder and crazier and crazier. I kind of wanted them to just stick with him being Bray Wyatt, and this is me. I'm here. I'm kind of stripping myself of this character and see where that went. But then they, at the very end, kind of shifted it to this very like, oh no, I am crazy and I am this character. So, what did you think of the promo, Dom?
I was a little bit lost in it. I almost like you're describing. I'm watching this promo and I'm thinking, okay, how much of this is shoot and how much of this is work? Like you're saying, the trend for, I think in the WWE, it was the CM Punk what that bombshell that he had that one night on Raw, I think it was the pipe
Mm-hmm.
bomb. There you go. And ever since then, maybe they've been trying to recreate that formula. The problem is it's not really a formula. That was CM Punk who really had something to say, and they gave him the airtime, or he's just a really good actor. Um, Tonight, it looks like to me that Bray Wyatt has some sort of connection with the WWE audience, or at least he did with the live audience tonight in the arena. Um, they seem to be going along with what he was doing. I mean, I don't know if it was plants in the audience, but everybody was doing, they were holding up the cell phones with the flashlights on as he made his entrance. I'm just holding his lantern. It's something that to me, as someone getting back into WWE, it clearly does not mean as much to me as it means to longtime fans. So I'm gonna defer to what seemed, unless it was the infamous WWE piping in canned cheering and stuff. I'm gonna defer to the crowd seemed to be into what he was doing, and that this is big news that he's back. I don't know the backstory in real life as to why Bray left the WWE. I don't know the backstory as to how he got back into it, but apparently it's a big enough deal that they gave him the closing segment without a match, without anybody else in the ring with him, just to talk to the fans, not only in the live arena who are participating in some way, but just to face the camera and talk to the TV audience. What do you know about Bray Wyatt? And can you shed some light for me and for anybody else in our audience who might be in my position here? What does Bray Wyatt mean to the WWE universe, and what does it mean that he's now back in the WWE ring?
Yeah, great question. And I would go ahead and sort of, I think, when we started doing this, I have stopped watching WWE in general for several years now. So I haven't really been following along too much. I know there's been a lot of like people getting laid off, and they're kind of like, bringing in new guys from NXT, and kind of getting rid of some of the people due to whatever reason. But um, I couldn't really answer that too definitively for you. I will have to say that he's always had an interesting character, and he's never really done any shoot interviews, which is cool. Like, if he's gonna be this creepy character, it's you kind of got to live the gimmick. You can't really be like on some podcast and then you're just like a regular guy, and then you go back to, oh, like I'm this creepy whatever
Okay,
guy.
because that's something that a lot of wrestlers do when their in-ring days are over. They break kayfabe. They go on these shoot interview things, and they talk about the career as not the character. But let's narrow down the question further. You specifically, as a wrestling fan, what do you remember of Bray Wyatt? Do you remember him in big matches? Do you have favorite Bray Wyatt moments from when you used to watch the WWE? How far back do you remember him? Take us through. What's your recollection of Bray Wyatt in a WWE ring?
Yeah, so one of the things with Bray Wyatt, he basically came in and they made him Husky Harris, and he was just like some goofy redneck, I guess. Like, I don't
Okay.
know. So then they rekindled this gimmick they had for the 90s, and I can't recall the guy's name, but there was a dude basically who was like, a swamp person. So he was doing like this, like somebody that would be in the swamps of New Orleans, and that's kind of why he's over there. But like, he
Okay.
has like the straw hat and white pants and like kind of a flowery button up, but like open, and kind of like somebody that is a swamp like person. Um, yeah, so that was his original gimmick, and then they made it like darker and darker, and they've always twisted the character around, and they've done a pretty good job with it. But um, some of the stuff was falling flat. I know before he got axed, like some of the stuff was just like it's too. It was too much. Like at some point, you just want to see the guys wrestle, right? I don't need to have
Sure.
so much of the character. But that's why I was kind of looking forward to him kind of come out, and he shot a promo, a babyface promo from the heart. That's the best way to do it. Like from the heart, like, hey, thank you guys so much. Like, I've had a rough year. I'm here. It sounded sincere. So I really liked that aspect of it. I would love if they just sort of dropped his creepy gimmick. I don't
Okay.
know. It's not it That's not my cup of tea. Like I never and this is gonna be, I don't know. I just don't really particularly care for the supernatural
So if
stuff.
they could get away from the evil version of Duck Dynasty, and
Yes.
just go more with Bray Wyatt. He's a beloved worker. Um, but you were saying some things that some of the gimmicks were maybe falling flat in your eyes, and eventually he was axed and parted ways on maybe not such good terms. Is this an overkill push to return to the WWE as a guy who just dominates a pay-per-view just by showing up as a mystery person, and now you're getting top billing? I don't know what Raw was like, but he gets top billing at SmackDown, the final segment. Is this? I mean, it's not like WWE is a struggling program at this point. I don't think they've got superstars, they've got belts, they've got the good storylines. I mean, is Bray Wyatt as the new lead? Is this kind of weirdly burying real angles that they have? Too much, not enough, just right. What do you
Um,
say?
so from I'd say it's good to bring him back. It's good because he's a half decent worker, and he's recognizable. He's a pretty good worker, I'd say, and he's pretty recognizable.
Okay.
Um, Good to bring him back, but I think they had some pretty good stuff going before the last two SmackDowns. But we just want to see the dudes wrestle and give me like a little storyline, sure, but like let's watch a main event and watch the guys wrestle, and that's sort of what I think you and I would probably prefer. But you know,
I
one of
don't
those
mind a
things.
good promo and a good angle if it's going somewhere. I don't mind something if it has elements of, okay, I can see this being a story and I can see this getting to something in a ring. Like I'm gonna give this one a too much um rating just because there was no climax to what happened in the ring tonight. I don't think it was weird. There was no talk of an opponent. There was no talk of how this gets into the ring. There
There
was
is
no
some
talk
pretty
of teammates, really. It was just a guy, and it almost looked like they cut him off at the end of the show. I mean, if he's really doing a heart to heart with the crowd, a beloved performer returns. I don't want to belabor the point because it wasn't an actual match, but I obviously for the push they're giving him, I'm going to trust the writers and say, if you're pushing him, then I will go along for the ride with you and see where this goes. But I this this looked like it was, at least for the first week, it looked like it was forced.
yeah.
What do I know? I'm not their core audience, and I've been watching their product for 3 weeks.
We have been watching for 3 weeks, so we are kind of walking sometimes a little in the middle of a movie, and we're trying to like piece it together here. So,
That's a good
um,
one. Like we show up with our popcorn, like what's going on? I miss.
wait, who is this guy? Like we're still doing that. We're still figuring it out. But yeah, from my perspective, it's all right. You know, like somebody out there likes it. Somebody's gonna go crazy for it. People that are fans of them, and then there are gonna be people like me that are like, I just kind of want to see the dudes wrestle and not the supernatural stuff. But
Okay.
let's move on to the. I mean, there's two leads here. Let's go on to the
There's an
main.
in-ring lead, and there's the thing that the WWE wanted to be the lead,
Yes.
and there's the thing that